All right, everybody. I have a freeze frame from Atomic Blonde. First of all, one of the most beautiful movies ever filmed. So, part of the allure of this 98-inch TCL QM8K is that I'm going back through my movie repertoire to rewatch certain films, see how they look here. So, this is a movie that is A, very underrated, and B, is gorgeously shot. The contrasts that they use, the main character always wears shades of gray or black and white, depending on her mood or what she's trying to say. So, it kind of is a tell of what you're going to get. If she's wearing something that's black and white, it's a straight up scene. If she's wearing something like this that's gray, that means that she's playing in the gray. So, anyway, beautifully shot. It's a David Lynch movie. It's also based on a book series, and which disappoints me from the aspect that there should be more of these. And this was um, David Leitch. This was his female counterpart, although not directly, of John Wick. So don't know, he's the co-creator of John Wick, and he was a former stuntman who became a action director, and John Wick was his vehicle to do that. And then he's done other things as well. One of the Fast and the Furious or whatever. You can look at his IMDb. But what I want to point out here on this film, on this television, is just how the different levels of black are showing up. So if we look here, you can see the reflection of Shelley's Theron on the glass. But look over there on this side here where it's very, very dark. And if you look down, you can see, I probably barely see my fingers here, but down here at the bottom, there are all these, the black bars at the top and bottom. And look how inky black that is. Look at the pack, the next to the ashtray, the little black box there. I think that's her cigarette pack. And then look at how her gray bounces against the white. And if we really, really want to nitpick, you start to see just the whisper of blooming, because again, she's bleached blonde, right? And Charlize Theron is a very pale woman. So there's that aspect. The lights in this room are turned all the way up, right? But in that, you still get the highlights of her hair. You still can see each strand. They're not blended. Again, if we want to nitpick, if I have to pixel peep and point right over here where her shoulder is, there's just the slightest hint of fringing, but it's not blooming. And again, in a scene like this, you would have blooming all over the place because it's a dark screen, well, probably overlit, but it works for the effect. And then she has a bright white shirt on. But look across the background there, and across the background, how black the blacks are. And this is a monochromatic scene for the most part. You just, the only hint of color you have besides the pink in her skin tone are the cigarettes inside of the ashtray. Now I could go back to a different scene and show you some of the colors, because the colors are really vibrant, but we already know that about this. Being that this is a QD micro LED, or excuse me, QD mini LED, not micro, I wanted to highlight just how low the black floor is on this particular television. Again, look here where you can see that black divider in the soundproofing in the room. But if you look, you can actually see highlights run up and down that particular bar. Look at although the bokeh is a front bokeh, so she's in focus and the rest of the scene is, the sides are are more blurred. Look, you can still make out details such as the reverse reflection or um, curved reflection inside the glass because of the refraction. Look at the different tones of gray and black and white and her hair with the platinum blonde. It is really a showcase. So I watched this movie, and again, it's just one of those things. I've seen it so long ago, and I can't really say whether I've seen the whole movie at once or one sitting because it is pretty long. Usually you watch movies at night. If it's long, you may be tired and fall asleep. But I remembered that this was a highly underrated movie. There should have been more of these, a series. But getting off of that soapbox, just wanted to show you just how beautiful this scene is. There are a lot of other movies people use. This one should be a part of your reference repertoire for how you judge a television set and how you judge how a movie should be shot. Even her watch against her pale skin there. Look at that. And the way that the silver glint comes off of it, but it's not truly blooming. It is a wonderfully shot movie and a high compliment to this particular TCL 98-inch QM8K. I really, really wanted to showcase this. I may pop back in another scene. As a matter of fact, let's do that. Let's pause so we can get some of the colors. So I did pause, but I fast forward, well, I let it play for a little bit, and I just wanted you to see, look at the wisps of smoke. Look at that. Look at the detail that shows up there. It is clean. This is a very clean movie, which again is a reason why there are certain scenes because of the lighting and the exposure where you get some graininess, but it is a very cleanly shot movie. Everything is well lit where it's supposed to be. Yeah, so let's pause so as I can move around in the movie and show you some other things about the television, how it handles it. Now here's a scene from the beginning, and without spoiling the movie for you, I can tell you, maybe this freeze frame probably isn't the best because it's a little blurry. Let's see if I can catch a better shot. That might be a little bit better. Look through. Let's get rid of the menu there. Look at the blue in his eyes. And this is something else that pops on the television that didn't on my OLED because of the brightness ratio, contrast ratio, is the, like, Charlize Theron's eyes just popped all over the place. But look at the blue in his eyes. You can even make out the watch face that he has in front of him, the way that the hair on his face is not his eyebrows, but the actual hairs on his skin are popping. You can see the pores next to his nose, the crack in the headlight are clear details. So let me see if I can find another scene to really illustrate this. So here's another scene of how you can see this is a dark scene, right? And because it's dark, it's kind of grainy, but you can see how you got the pops of color with the pink neon coming in through the ice block, reflected on the robe here on the left-hand side. You can see the detail in the bottle. Let me get to the scene, another one more last scene. Again, another scene with nice color. She has a blue cast on her, and you can see the highlights on her nose. It's clear skin tone. Hair's not blown out. The reds are popping. She is actually separated from the background, so very nice, but sorry, one more scene. This is my last scene, the scene I wanted to get to, because this shows everything. You got the whites, you have the lights on the light poles, You've got the gray and the black from Shillelagh.
Hey everybody, just want to finish up the video because I had a little technical difficulty. Well, not technical limit, if you will. I was filming in night mode last night when I was talking about the atomic blonde, and when I did so, I forgot that night mode has a limit. So, just want to finish it up by saying that this TCL does a wonderful job of really for film, for cinema. It is a true cinematic experience visually, and it caused me to actually go back and look at my sound system to see, hey, where can I make improvements there, if anything, besides, spending a couple grand on a new receiver, which I can't justify right now, although I want to really badly. One of the things, of course, is take a look at my front sound stage and see if there was anything I could play with there based on the sound quality that was coming out last night, which was, again, amazing. I talked about the video quality, the visuals last night a lot, but the sound that comes out of this particular movie, Atomic Blonde, is superb. The sound staging that they did is amazing, so it's well worth whatever else you may look at. Sorry, I have to get in the light here because dark skin, bright background, right? So overall, right, this was a cinematic experience that I really recommend that you take a look at if you're into movies. I can't recommend the Atomic Blonde stream. It's on HBO Max right now. I know they own that property. Please take a look at it if you haven't seen it before. Excellent film. There should be more. I don't know why there isn't. Secondly, the TCL QM8K, definitely a buy if you have the funds to do so and can afford it. It really is worth every penny. And again, OLED for life, but this one did a magnificent job. And in some cases, there's some things that maybe OLED wouldn't have done, such as the brightness to contrast level. So, finishing up, apologize for the technical difficulty or oversight on my part, but I just want to make sure that we get to a conclusion on this video. Excellent job, Atomic Blonde, TCL QM8K. Y'all have a great day. Talk at y'all later.